Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Drew Van Zee, or as some people know me, the Knee Pain Magician. So if you don't know, this channel is dedicated to helping active people, typically over the age of 50, who are struggling with chronic knee pain. Maybe someone who really loves to hike, like to play pickleball, maybe like to bicycle, do other active things, but knee pain's really been slowing you down, getting in your way and preventing you from doing some of the things you like to do. If so, this channel is for you. So today we're going to be working on my top 3 exercises to help people who are dealing with chronic knee pain, reduce their tension, and feel better even when they've tried all the traditional approaches. Maybe you have tried cortisone injections, physical therapy, massage. You spend, maybe some time foam rolling on your own. If you've tried to do all of those traditional approaches and you've yet to find any noticeable or significant relief, today's exercises can help give you a window into what's possible by improving the brain-body connection and developing your own skills so that you can avoid pain without further injections or even a total knee replacement. All right, so what are my top 3 exercises for chronic knee pain? First exercise we're going to be working on today is an actual vision exercise. We're going to be developing a visual skill, following an object as it comes close to you and following an object as it moves away from you. Vision is actually one of the most important systems that you can develop that can help lead to pain-free knee movement. So you may be asking, why vision? How can vision be associated with knee pain? Well, pain is always a response when your brain feels a little bit disconnected and concerned about moving the rest of your body. Your eyes give your brain so much information about what's happening around you in your environment. And what tends to happen with people, especially over the age of 50, who are dealing with chronic knee pain, is that they wear glasses, they look at computer screens, cell phones way too often. They may have different kind of deterioration within their eyes, and they do not have the same visual skills that they used to do. However, when you work on simple vision skills like the one we're going to work on today, you can find oftentimes an immediate reduction in pain and stiffness. So in order to do the exercise, you're going to have a pin. So I want you to grab that and set that down to the side. So the second exercise we're going to work on is a concept called opposing joints. So instead of directly working on your knee today, we're going to be working on the joint on the other side of your body associated with your knee. That's your elbow. Your brain has a neurological and a mechanical association between your elbow and your knee. And oftentimes, one of the big mistakes that people who are dealing with chronic pain make is that they focus too much on where it hurts. It hurts my shoulder, I need to massage my shoulder. My knee really hurts, so I need to give an injection into my knee. I need to strengthen my quads. I need to do all these things. And oftentimes, it's kind of like a red herring. We get a little bit distracted on where we're having pain, and we lose sight of the bigger picture, which is everything's all connected. And there's a concept called opposing joints. So basically what that means is when you're walking, right, we're dealing with dynamic movement and force transmission. And say you're walking down the street and you have pain in your right knee. As soon as your right heel hits the concrete, energy transfers up from the ground, goes to your right heel, hits your right hip, transfers from up the pelvis to the spine, and then it goes up through the left shoulder to the left elbow, out through the left wrist. So right knee is connected to the left elbow, right? Very simple concept. You're thinking, how does this work? This guy, the knee pain magician, sounds a little crazy. So today we're going to be demonstrating the exercise, coaching you through it, so you can actually feel what I'm talking about. After we do the vision and we do the opposing joint, we're going to be working on your knee itself. So once your brain and your nervous system is ready for movement, right, we're going to be actually working on where you have pain. So we want to do these other exercises first just to kind of prepare your body, get it ready for movement, hopefully already kind of reduce some of the pain and stiffness you're dealing with. And then we're going to be working on getting some healthy pain-free movement in a nice full range of motion within the knee itself. So today we're working on exercise number 1. It's called pencil push-ups. Exercise number 2, it's called opposing elbow circles. And last but not least, exercise number 3, it's called knee circles. So those are the 3 exercises we're going to work on today, and I look forward to reading your results in the comment section. Okay, so the first thing we do before going through different exercises to improve knee pain, knee stiffness, mobility within your knee is we do an assessment. An assessment is a way for you to check in with your body to see your current level of pain, current level of stiffness, and overall, how do you feel movement? What's your quality of movement? So how do you do that? Well, there's not necessarily a rule. It's all based off of you and your intuition with your own body. Sometimes I'm able to see by looking at my clients that they have a greater range of motion, that they're able to do a movement more fluidly. But it's also, an assessment needs to be something that you can perceive yourself and notice how you're feeling, how you're moving, right? So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate some common ways that you can do an assessment with your own body to check in, but really it's based off of what works for you. So first thing is going for a walk. Going for a walk, do a few steps, walk one direction, walk the other direction. You could go down some stairs, come back, and what are you checking for? As I'm walking, if I have knee pain, how does my knee feel? Does it feel really tight? Does it hurt on the outside when I'm walking? When I'm going up and down the stairs, do I have to avoid the right knee? Right? Just kind of checking in to see where you are at the moment. You can also think about a pain scale. Pain scale 1 to 10. 10 being, oh my gosh, this is terrible, I'm going to stop. 1 being, hey, you know, this is amazing, I'm going to turn off the YouTube video now. Kind of where are you on that scale? And again, it doesn't need to be super scientific. Don't overthink about it. Don't overthink it. Just, say, okay, maybe I'm at about a 6 right now. So it's not great, but it's also not horrible. In addition to that, you could do some range of motion assessments. So a range of motion assessment could simply be bending down, trying to touch your toes, see how stiff you're feeling. If you can, you could try to do a few squats, right? Just pretend like you're sitting down. That's a good assessment for knee function, right? And notice as my knees bend, my hips go back. And again, this isn't an exercise, it's just a way for you to check in with your body. As I'm squatting, how does my knee feel? What's my range of motion? Pay attention to your stability, your level of tightness, stuff like that. So our assessments were going for a walk or going up and down some stairs. Again, just having kind of a gross understanding of where you're at the moment. Number 2, think about your pain scale on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high and terrible, 1 being amazing. Where are you at the moment? And last but not least, the third assessment was range of motion. Bending down, touching your toes, doing a few squats, sitting down on your chair, standing back up. Again, just doing like some practical functional movement and seeing how your knee feels and performs. Okay, so the first exercise we're working on is called a pencil push-up. If you have a pencil, great. You don't have to have one. Basically, we're going to be doing a vision exercise. What you're using the pen in this case for is just a simple aid, having a small pinpoint target that you can look at and follow with your eyes. If you don't have a pen, you could just use your thumb. That works almost as well. So this is called a pencil push-up. And what you're doing is you're going to be looking at the pen, and you are, whether you're sitting down or you're standing up, I want you to have good posture. So you're not slouched over, you're not tilted to one side, your head isn't rotated. I want you to think about the midline of your body, from your belly button up to your breastbone to your nose. Try to keep all of that in alignment, right? Lengthening through your spine. What you're going to do is you're going to look at the tip of the pen and make sure you're using an arm that feels good and functional at the time. So you're going to be looking at the tip of the pen, and I want you to track it with both your eyes, and you're going to try to bring it as close to your eyes as possible. So right now I'm aiming towards the tip of my nose, And what I see in the background is going to get double vision. That's okay, but I want the pen itself to remain in single vision the entire time. I'm going to come as close to my nose as I can. The pen itself may get a little bit blurry. That's okay, but it stays in single vision, and then I pause, exhale, and follow the pen back out. That's all the exercise is. Both your eyes are working together as a pair, a team, following the pen, tracking it, bringing it as close to the tip of your nose as possible. Breathing, following the pen all the way back out. I'll come here so you can see me a little bit closer. So if you see my eyes are tracking as I'm following the pen, and it's coming closer to me. So it's like my eyes are crossing, and then my eyes are following as the pen moves back out. So it's a very simple vision exercise, but it's also one of the most powerful exercises you could do for knee pain and for movement in general. So what's the goal of the exercise? Well, you've got two eyeballs, but oftentimes people's eyes do not move well in unison, and one eye could be a little bit stronger than the other eye. And the problem with that is that your brain gets a little bit confused on what's happening around you, right? One eye is able to track something, the other eye is somewhat lazy or it's not engaged enough. And your brain isn't really sure, is something moving toward you or something moving away? It has a little bit of a difficult time kind of perceiving what's happening around you. And the reason why this is a powerful exercise is because the better your brain can perceive and understand the world around you, the safer it feels because it has more confidence, it's more reassured. And the better your brain feels about movement, the less need it has to step on the brakes and send out pain as a protective mechanism. In addition to that, when your eyes move in, that is associated with body flexion. I want you to think about moving in, bending, body flexion, eyes in, flexion. What's also considered flexion is when you're moving your knee backwards and forwards, right? Flexing your knee. That's important for you, right? You may be thinking that you're really stiff and you can't put weight on your knee. This vision exercise can help promote better, pain-free, less restrictive movement when you're bending your knee. The opposite of eyes in are eyes out. When your eyes are following an object away from you, that's associated with extension, opening the body up, right? What's connected to extension is when you're lengthening your leg, extending your knee. So you need to be able to bend your knee and you need to be able to extend your knee. This simple vision exercise where we work on converging and diverging can be a powerful tool to give your brain more confidence in preparing for that movement when you're actually moving the knee. So work on the eyes first, gives the brain more confidence, prepares the nervous system to now bend and extend the knee. I want you to do this pencil push-up exercise maybe about 5 times. Sometimes it can be helpful to record yourself, make sure that both your eyes are working evenly. Occasionally when I'm coaching someone through this exercise, I will notice that their right eye, as an example, is really tracking. But when they come a little bit close to their head, the exercise can be too intense and their weaker eye can start to stare off into outer space, right? So one eye is stronger, it's able to follow the pen. The weak eye becomes prominent and it's no longer able to hold the contraction, hold the movement, and then it just kind of loses it and starts looking somewhere else. That's a big problem. Another big problem is if potentially you're doing the exercise and when you're looking at the pen becomes double. You start to see in double vision. That's a problem because your brain is now confused at what you're looking at. But wait a minute, your brain's thinking, I thought we had one pen, but now I see 2 pens. So the clearer your brain can see something, again, the more reassured and calmer it's going to be, which is going to lead to pain-free knee movement. So you need to be able to have both your eyes function 100%, not one eye stronger than the other, but both are strong. And you need to be able to see the pen clearly, right? Single vision, not double vision. If you begin to see double vision, I want you to stop the movement, I want you to breathe and follow the pen back out. Bring the pen back in, stop before you begin to see double vision, and then follow the pen back out. So, simple exercise. If you could do it standing up, amazing. If you need to sit down or potentially even lie down, if it's really a challenging exercise, that's okay. After you do the pencil push-ups, again, 5 reps or so, you're going to go for another assessment, go for your walk, go up and down a flight of stairs, do your squats, and check in to see how does your knee feel now. Do you have a reduction in pain, less stiffness, overall better quality of movement? That's generally what we see, and that's why we're starting with this exercise. Okay, now the next exercise we're working on is something called an elbow circle. So I'm going to do this imagining that you have right knee pain. So we're going to be working your left elbow. If you have left knee pain, you're going to work the right elbow. And if you've got pain on both knees, that's okay. You can work both elbows as well. I would encourage you to start with one arm first and not do both at the same time. So first thing you do, I want you to take your hands and I want you to rub all over the affected knee. So if you got pain and stiffness on your right knee, you're going to rub all over that right knee. This is called skin stimulation, and what it does is it helps your brain get a little bit more connected to the area where you're having a problem. In addition to that, you're going to take one hand and you're going to rub over the elbow that you're trying to move. So again, the better your brain can feel, okay, that's my left elbow. That's the joint I'm trying to move. Oftentimes when you get older, you don't move your joints as much and your brain can kind of lose that motor control and that connection. So one way to help it is just to kind of stimulate the skin and the tissue around that area before you do a mobility exercise. So if you need to sit down and do this, that's totally fine. If you can stand up, you could do this in a more athletic position. So I'm going to step forward with my right leg because I'm going to be working my left arm. I'm going to put my left arm out in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my elbow pointing towards you, and I'm going to maneuver my forearm around my elbow, just like that, and then I'm going to fully extend. So I start with palm down, I bend my forearm, circle my hand underneath my jaw, rotate, get a little bit of torque beyond my shoulder, and then I extend all the way back out until I lock out that joint. So that's important that you're getting as much extension as flexion because we want to mobilize that joint through the fullest range of motion possible. So this is called an elbow circle. So we want to make sure that you're actually doing a circle and not a linear movement. So if you see me from this direction now, palm down, come under my chin, circle out beyond my shoulder, extend out. Simple like that. So if this hurts your shoulder for whatever reason, you can move your arm to a position that feels more comfortable. And the main goal is not where the position of the arm is. It's that you're able to isolate the elbow and move your forearm around the elbow joint. That's what we're doing. We're mobilizing the elbow, improving mobility within that joint, because that gives your brain more reassurance about the health of the knee on the opposite side of the body. So I want you to do about 5 to 10 circles one direction, shake out your arm if need be. Then we're going to go reverse opposite direction. So start with palm up. I want you to imagine that maybe you've got a plate of something, you're serving somebody on the top of your palm. You're going to keep that plate there, rotate around your body. Once you hit your shoulder, go palm down, dump the plate underneath your chin, circle forward. So palm up, come around, palm down, come forward. So notice I'm not moving my whole arm, right? I'm still trying to isolate my elbow as much as possible. So one thing to pay attention to while you're doing this, make sure that you're as relaxed as possible. Breathe. Again, if you need to move your arm to find a more comfortable position, not a problem. If you see me from this direction, palm up, palm down, come around, palm up, come around, palm down, palm up, come around, palm down. So we worked on clockwise and counterclockwise movement. Focus on isolating the elbow joint, trying to get as much healthy, pain-free movement in there as possible, because that will help your knee. Now, before you think I'm crazy, what I want you to do is, again, go for your reassessment. So stand up, go for a walk, try a few squats, go down a couple stairs or so, come back and pay attention. How are you now feeling? Think about your pain scale on a 1 to 10. Where were you earlier? Where are you now? As you're walking, as you're doing your stairs, can you rely on that knee a little bit more? Maybe it's got less pain, less stiffness, overall better quality of movement. Those are the things that we tend to see when people do this exercise. So that's why it's number 2 on my list. Okay, last but not least, we're going to focus on improving pain-free movement within your problem knee. So we worked on your eyes because it warms your body up, gets your brain a little bit more comfortable with movement. Then we worked to the opposing joint because that also is associated with the problem knee. So we do those 2 things first, avoiding the problem, get your brain, get your nervous system more prepared to deal with the problem. So by now, you should already have a noticeable reduction in pain, noticeable reduction in stiffness, and an overall improved quality of movement within the problem knee. Now that we've done that and you're already starting to feel and move a little bit better, we want to go and address the knee. So this is called a knee circle. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be standing up nice and tall. You're going to be stepping forward with the problem leg. And I want you to keep both feet on the ground. But what you're going to do with that knee is I want you to think of a nice 360-degree circle. And you're going to move your knee around your foot in a circular motion. We're going to go clockwise. We're going to go counterclockwise. So clockwise looks like bending the knee in, and then you go forward towards the toes, and then you go out away from the body. So again, I'm here, I bend my knee, go inside, bend the knee, go forward, and then I work my way on the outside. So your foot will try to move a little bit. Try to keep your toes on the ground. If you have really thick soles, it's best to kind of take your shoes off and go barefoot. But what you're trying to do is get a nice range of motion within the knee. The only thing that you're worried about is having pain. So when they say no pain, no gain, well, that's really old. And if you think about that as you're trying to reduce your pain, you will have more pain. So whenever you have pain, you need to stop, change your position, limit your range of motion, or change the movement. So we never want to move into pain. And whenever you experience pain, you need to figure out a way, if you can do the movement, where it feels more comfortable. So if you notice when you're going in at a certain degree that is too much, that's okay. Go a little bit shyer into the movement. Main thing I want you to do, whether you have a big knee circle or you have a small knee circle, is to get some level of pain-free movement in that knee joint. So notice that when I'm doing this, so we're working on clockwise circles. I want you to try to do 5 to 10 circles clockwise. And I want you to do 5 to 10 circles counterclockwise. Pay attention as you're doing the circle. Where do you feel stiff? Where do you feel pain? And where do you feel like you have a little bit less range of motion or coordination through that circle? If you see me from the side, it looks like this. So simple exercise. Do what's possible. You may not be able to get this level of movement in your knee. That's okay. Just want you to get some level of healthy movement within that joint. One direction and then the other direction. Make sure that at the beginning and end of every circle, you are locking out the knee joint. It's never bent, it's always locked out. Or if you have osteoarthritis, at least try to lock out the knee as much as you can. So again, one direction and then the other direction. Okay, now after you've done your knee circles, I want you to reassess. So this is our last assessment. Go for a little bit of a longer walk, try a few more stairs, bend down, touch your toes, do a few squats. Overall, try to check in and see how are you now feeling. What's your pain scale on that level of 1 to 10? Maybe you started high, you're at a 7 or an 8. See where you're at now. Do you have more pain-free movement now after doing these 3 exercises than you did at the beginning? Obviously, that's the goal. Most people will feel that after this video. Some will be shocked, and maybe a couple people aren't going to see those results. That's okay. Overall, we chose these 3 exercises today to give you a glimpse into what's possible in overcoming chronic knee pain when you do brain-based training and improve the brain-body connection. When you see better, when you move your joints better, your brain feels more reassured and confident about your movement. So even though you may have bone-on-bone deterioration, you may have osteoarthritis, most people who are over 50, over 60 years of age will show deterioration in their joints. But that doesn't mean that you're forced to have various injections and potentially even a knee replacement. It's more than possible to improve these different systems, whether it's improving the mobility you have within the joints of your body or improving your visual system alone, that those things are powerful enough if they're moving correctly, working right, that your knee pain can be solved. Less pain, less stiffness, get back to hiking, playing pickleball, doing all these other fun, active things in your life, as long as you are addressing the root of the problem. So that's the goal of today's exercise. Okay, so if you found today's video helpful, I always appreciate your support. If you can, click the like button and subscribe to my channel below. That would be amazing. In addition to that, if you're someone who's been struggling with chronic knee pain for quite some time, you've tried lots of different things, maybe PT, you've worked with orthopedists before, and you've yet to see lasting results, maybe by improving the brain-body connection, this could be the solution you're looking for. If you're interested in understanding that approach more, I have a free training at the bottom of this video or at my homepage, and I'll provide the link there. So that's it for this week. I look forward to reading how the exercises helped benefit you in the comment section below, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.